Just grabbing my coffee, guys. Sorry if my jacket's making a lot of noise, but I will be with you all in 1 minute. All right, so I'm here. I was getting my coffee. Sorry, I needed my fuel for the day. So we're here for Caffeinated Collector episode 13. Wow, it's been 13 already. Yo, it's early, man. Already with this guy. Late again. Bro, you're at work right now. Enough with the nonsense, dude. Hey, give me credit. I started the stream on time. I just had a little bit of a, coffee delay. So we're here on time. I got a very noisy jacket on today, but it's a very, very cool jacket. I freaking love it. So just responding to my insurance company real quick because they did just call me, and I ignored them. So I said, "Hey, I've got stuff going on." So I'm just texting him real quick so he doesn't think I'm kind of, you know, blowing him off. But yeah, we'll see this. So yeah, hopefully everyone's doing good this morning. I know I did not get everything done that I wanted to today or yesterday during all the nonsense where I had no internet. So yeah, yesterday episode did not happen because yeah, we were having internet maintenance on my street. I don't know what it is with my street, probably because it's a main road, but we have internet maintenance way too often, and our internet sucks. So, shout out Spectrum Internet for being like the worst possible internet service ever in history. So, yeah, that was the reason why we didn't go live yesterday. So today I'm going to actually try to do another stream after today, or after, yeah, after this. So we're gonna try to do a gaming stream after this. So we'll see how people feel about that. But all right, that message is sent off to the insurance company, and I think we are good to go. So obviously, as people are rolling in today, we do have some stuff to talk about. We got quite a few topics that I've got kind of planned out for the show here today. One of them, well, two of them, it's a little cheating. Two of them weren't really last week; they're this week's topics, but we're going to talk about anyway because they're pretty important topics, pretty controversial topics, I guess, right now as well. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Sony drama, of course. I didn't wear my Sony jersey. I probably should have, just to kind of add in a little bit of a flair to the conversation. But yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit of the Sony drama with their new digital licensing updating, which I have my thoughts on that as well. We're going to talk a little bit about anime stuff with the news that Netflix has now become the go-to place for anime. So we're going to talk a bit about that. I'm going to give my thoughts and my feelings about that a little bit, see what you guys all think as well. What else do we got going on here? Another studio closure, possibly. It has not been, I don't think, fully confirmed yet, but it's probably happening. And a game that came out last week that's actually doing really, really good. We're gonna talk about Tomodachi Life, which I still have not played yet because my copy got kidnapped. So yeah, we got a lot of cool topics. We did highlight a lot of really cool figures. And yeah, we're gonna roll into things shortly. As I said, as people kind of roll in here, we're gonna get into the topics. But I think we will start with our figures, obviously. As far as me, I didn't get a lot of new figures. I said, patting myself on the back. I did not buy really anything for figures or collectibles this week. So, wow. This has been like a once a year week for me. I didn't buy any collectibles. I didn't buy any games other than Tomodachi Life, I guess. Yeah, I it's crazy. I can't believe that I have not bought anything. So I mean, yeah, that's good for me. It's good for my wallet, I guess. So yeah, future me will be happy that I saved some money. But um so I just got a DM asking why my stream is not accessible. Let me check on that. It should be. We are we're good here. You should be able to get in. Let me just text him back real quick. He said he can't get into the stream. The stream is public. Sorry guys, give me one moment here. I got in fine, even a notification this time. Okay, so all right, yeah, because I'm not seeing anything, any nonsense here. So we look like we're okay. I just suggest if you guys can't, if you having trouble getting in, try again. It looks like everything's fine on this end. Ant said, yeah, Ant said you got in fine even with the notification too. So looks like we're okay. Sorry about that. Let's text him back real quick and say try again. So yeah, we are live and we are only on YouTube with this. So, as you guys know, I started to multi-stream, play around with multi-streaming last week with the Pragmata streams. And it's weird. They haven't been doing as well as any of the other games that I've been playing. And it's funny because it is a more recent game, a more current game, and it's not really doing gangbusters here on the channel. But they've been very fun streams. So, um, we did get some multi-streaming attempts. I did attempt to do Twitch and Kick at the same time, and that didn't really go too well. So we're just gonna do YouTube and Twitch for the gaming streams, and the Caffeinated Collector streams are going to stay just to YouTube and then be uploaded to Spotify as well the following days. So it's kind of how the schedule is going to go from here on out. I'm going to keep everything at 11 a.m. Like I said, trying to make some changes, and I'm going to keep the podcast at 11 on Tuesdays now instead of the first thing I stream on Mondays every week. I think having a little bit of a gaming break in between nothing for 2 days and then the podcast, I think going 2 days off and then a gaming stream and then going to the podcast will be a little bit of a more cohesive format, going forward. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna see how it works. But um, so I'm trying to send him a link. I'm trying to send him a link real quick because he said he can't get in. So bear with me for one moment. I just want to, like I said, I just want to make sure he can get in. 'Cause he said he can't get in. I'm not sure why. It's really weird. I'm seeing everything is good. Everything's live. So again, guys, apologies. I'm just trying to help someone out and get into the stream here. And then I'm gonna show this awesome jacket out because this thing is so dope that it's crazy. All right, so you should have gotten the link, or he should have gotten the link, and hopefully we're good. I sent the link to a couple other people too, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it gets going. But all right, so first off, first off, I gotta show this off. I gotta show this thing off. This is so rad. Um, I posted about this in the store when I saw it, and yes, it does make a lot of noise. But this jacket, let me just shake. This is my cool South Park jacket. Even though I hate the color red, I had to get this. This thing is a South Park members only jacket. And this thing is so freaking cool, man. I love this jacket so much. I'm probably gonna wear it all the time. And then on the back it actually says members only and has just like the same picture on the front, just they're outside. So this thing is so freaking cool. Probably not gonna wear it the whole stream because it's gonna probably get a little warm in here. But yeah, dude, I got this at like one of those discount stores. I went in to get like, necessities. And I looked and I'm like, huh, Spark jacket. Huh. And I looked and I went, $15. I think I'm gonna have to get that. So I ended up rocking out a South Park, members only jacket. This thing is just freaking cool. And Gigi's already trying to steal it. Kiddo's already trying to steal it from me. If I can find one in an extra large, that's a little bit bigger on me, I'm probably gonna give her this one. But she stole it, already took the tags off it. She's already was wearing it, going in with her friends. So yeah, shout out to I think it was Ocean State Job Lot. I found these at, and I see people selling these on eBay and stuff for like $50. So I was like, man, I should have bought a couple more. But yeah, I was so excited. I'm like, I got a South Park jacket. I'm like, it's red though. I don't know if I want this. But yeah, the impulse control and lack of impulse control. I was like, you know what? Let me get that. So I do. I have a South Park jacket now. I know. I'm old. I know. But who gives a crap? You know what, dude? You're only as old as you feel, and I don't feel old. So, and then as far as before we get into the figure stuff, I'm gonna show off the one figure that I got this week, and it's a very very tiny one. So you guys know I like the Bandai World Coliseum figures. They're little tiny guys, right? The Chainsaw Man Reze Arc Series 2 came out, and I actually found Bomb. So I got Bomb. So I got the Bomb Devil, little mini Bomb Devil. to go with my, of course, my mini Reze. So I've got Reze and I've got Bomb. So very excited to have both of them. I didn't get the other ones in the set though. I think if I can get them, I'm gonna probably get Beam just for the collection because it's Beam. The other ones, I mean, it's Kobane and it's another Denji, obviously. So I don't know if I'm gonna bother with those. And then of course, the first set was just your main characters, obviously. And I didn't get all of them. I just got Reze. And then this is the series two, which is of course all kind of like the other characters. Get the damn glare off of here. There we go. So very, very cool. And that's all I got. This was only $11. So I did very, very good this week. I am super proud of myself for the extreme low budget spending that I did this past week. So I'm happy about that at least. So I got another text from the insurance company. Sorry. Again, now we're getting texts about Mother's Day plans for from my mom's, so I had to respond real quick before my sister lost it on me. But yeah, so that's it for stuff I got this week. Other than, like I said, my physical copy of Tomodachi Life didn't get much. Like I said, other than this awesome jacket, yeah, and my little Reze. So speaking of figures. Let's go ahead and talk about some figures. So this week I did do a full week of figures. One was a little late. It was a little delayed because she didn't upload. So, and that was of course my first figure of the week, which was My Hero Monday with this. Yeah, I almost pointed the other way. This awesome piece right here from Good Smile, one of the OG pop-up parade figures. And of course, we're talking about Ochako, aka Gravity. And man, this is such a cool piece. I love it. And I kind of actually miss the older Pop-Up Parade bases like this with the hex style because I think they did, even though they were a standard size, they all kind of fit together nicely in a display where you could edge them all together. I thought they looked really cool, and this is obviously the school uniform version of Aravity, and I think it is so freaking adorable. From the absolutely great kind of pose they put her in, that's a very playful pose. They do have that foot anchored in there very, very well, so there's no chance of it leaning or breaking. As I said, I've had this since launch day, and I've never had a lean issue. And of course, we had Froppy guest star in on this video as well in her pop-up parade kind of school uniform. And as you can see with the bases there, they do connect together pretty cool. So it adds a little bit more options for your displaying. And as opposed to the awkward, circular black bases or things like that, at least having the hex style bases, they can kind of position together. And I like that they give each character their own individual colored base. They did that with, I'm trying to look real quick. They did that with the Konosuba girls, things like that. They did it with the Persona characters. Different Mikus have different colored bases. So I'm trying to like get an eyeball of like different pop-up parades. But I know the newer ones they got rid of the hex style bases for most cases, and they have a more smaller kind of clear base. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, especially being an older pop-up parade collector. But this one is freaking awesome. I think, as I always say, it's always good to have these characters in different poses, different costumes, things like that. And just kind of add a little bit of variety to your display. And of course, having Aravity in her school uniform with a companion piece with Froppy adds a little bit more to your display because I think almost every one of my Hero figures is her in just her standard pink outfit. So you don't really get as much variety. And it is one of the things that I am curious about as to why they haven't gone and made different My Hero themed costume kind of things. It's one of those things that it's definitely one of those things I think about. I'm like, why don't we have a different variety of Deku's in different kinds of costumes and Bakugo's in different kinds of costumes, like we do with, say, the ReZero figures and things like that. So it's one of those things that I always am a little curious about, but it could be maybe due to the age of the characters since they're in high school. They don't want to make too many different crazy outfits, but dude, the creator of the series itself puts out some banger illustrations of like the characters in all these hypothetical costumes. I know recently we had him post a crazy toga piece of art, and a Japanese cosplayer actually recreated it, and it was flawless. We've also had him draw Eerie with like a giant great sword with a like a wolf or a beast looking Aizawa. Amazing, amazing art, and things we could get some really cool pieces out of. So I love this one. And again, I think having her in a collection with a little bit more variety does add a lot to it. And I've had a lot of people message me and ask me where this came from. And again, I praise pop-up parades. I think they are a fantastic, budget friendly, sometimes, now sometimes I need to say, alternative to, other figures. And they are really, really good quality, but the thing is some of the prize figures are really going above and beyond now as far as the amount of figure you get for the value. So it used to be that it was eking ahead of prize figures and I sung their praises, but now we have 3 to 4 different styles of pop-up parades and different price ranges, different figures going into different prices, and they're not as universal as they used to be. So I don't really sing their praises as much as I used to, and I also don't buy as many of them as I used to. So it is kind of sad. But if you can get your hands on this one or the Froppy, they are absolute gold, guys. I highly, highly recommend them. And again, it comes from a place from when I used to really, really, really love Papa Parades. I used to unbox them on the channel all the time. Now I got a bit of a backlog right now. I got to go through, but I don't really buy them as much anymore because they have raised the prices and they've also put a lot of the cooler looks into what they call their more premium lines, which are the Papa Parade L's, which are a little bit bigger, and the Papa Parade XL's, which are massive and they cost hundreds of dollars. So what started out as a very budget friendly, entry level, all type of collectors line has now turned into this kind of cluster flock of, I like that Miku, but she's in the L format. I like that fairy tale character, but it's in the XL format. I want that. Well, I can't because they're in the massively expensive variations now. So it does kind of suck. But um, that's it for Monday. Let's move on to a really, 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 really weird one for Tuesday. For Twin Tuesday, we went with this, and I don't even know how you pronounce this one. I think it's Bioid. It's the Mecha Rem, and this one is such a weird piece. Hey, what's going on, JT? How we doing, man? Just in time for all the anime waifus, man. Uh, the Mecha Rem, I like to call her. She's a unique one, man, and it is the only one in this line that we've gotten, and it never went anywhere after this. I thought this was the start of a line. We were going to get tons of anime characters in this style, but it never, I don't know if it never caught on or what, but this was a one and done thing. We got Rem. It's it's a cool looking figure, but that base, oh, that base is so terrible for the amount of figure you get. Look at the size of that base. It's a chunky, big, round base, and it kills any of the coolness of this figure, unfortunately, because it is a very cool take on Rem. Um, I love how detailed all the little mecha parts are on her. And the face with the mask, kind of the Transformer style mask going over her face is so freaking cool. It definitely gives off. Someone said it was Gundam vibes. It kind of does. I get that. Thrusters kind of in the back of her maid costume and things like that. But it's a really cool detailed piece. She's very, very small though, and has that huge base. That's something I don't like about her, but you can get her on the cheap. And if you want a very different, very unique take on Rem, this is definitely one to go for, especially because you can get her cheap nowadays. Um, I can't recommend her based off the size and the base unless you can get her for a good price. So that's my take on this one. Very different, very weird, and an experiment they kind of did that didn't really pay off at the end. So could be a cool one to add to a collection just because of how unique she is. But the base and the size, it has some stuff going against it. So it's up to you guys what you want to do with that one. We got one big question. We're gonna highlight this so I can answer it. Do I collect Konosuba figures? Yes, I do. I actually mentioned them with the Gravity stuff that I just showed. I do the Pop-Up Parade stuff. I have a couple of the other ones. I have the Aqua dressed as Amelia from ReZero when they did a costume swap thing, which is really cool. And I think I have a couple other ones. I have some of the prize figures as well. So, not too much Konosuba stuff. I do have the Papa Parade stuff. I have the standard costume ones, and I have Aqua with her bug catching net. I have Megumin with her winter costume, and I think I have the bathing suit ones as well. And then I have the two versions of Darkness. So yeah, I do have quite a few of the Konosuba pop-up parades. That's one of the ones I said when I was talking about the My Hero one that it was cool because they all have individually different colored bases to match the characters. So yeah, I do have those. I've highlighted them on the channel, and I think I've done unboxings for five of them. So yeah, they're on the channel. If you do a search either in the Papa Parade playlist I have, or if you just search Konosuba, you'll find them in there. So I should do a Papa Parade week again. I haven't done one of those in a while. Maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe we'll do a Papa Parade week. Do a good smile week. But um leading into the next figure, we had, of course, it's Wednesday. It's Waifu Wednesday. And we had my girl. One I recently did a prize figure face off with, of course. It's Frieren. And this is the Sega Luminasta maid costume Frieren. And I freaking love this one. You guys know me, I'm always singing the praises of these newer Sega lines like the Figurisms and the Luminasta series. They are always absolutely fantastic pieces. Such a good bang for your buck. And this Frieren and the Fern that go with her are some hefty pieces. They are absolutely gorgeous. Freerin came out so good. I love this one. The flow of the dress, the way her hair is flowing out as well. It is so pretty. I love it. And again, as something I say, I say it to death, man. The different variety, the different costumes just add so much to your display. And to go to that point right here, boring bases, these they try. So they put a little bit of kind of wood grain around them. They give it like a laminate floor kind of look. There's actually some color discoloration on the floor. So it does look like they're on kind of like a wood grain floor, and it's got like a little bit of detail around the base. So with these, they actually did try a little bit more than what you usually get, but their dresses, overtake all the base anyways, so it isn't really a big issue. But again, they didn't go with plain black bases or plain white bases or boring clear bases. So again, I'll take every little thing as a victory, and especially in this case, because the figure is just so big. The base doesn't overdo it, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's smaller than the actual figure itself, doesn't take up as much real estate, and it does what it needs to do, right? And what we need to do is hold this awesome figure up. And the base did that. So, again, sometimes they don't have to be fancy, they can be very minimalistic. It's just the plain gaudy black and the plain gaudy white bases are such a pet peeve of mine. Um, Custom bases, yeah, I know some YouTubers and some content creators who are always shilling about the custom bases. I don't really want to talk about them because they kind of frustrate me the way they even run stuff. But I know there are a lot of people talking about custom bases and ordering custom bases from Japan. I could do that if I had the money to first off order custom bases. That it's going to end up costing me what the figure costs or more just to get a custom base. I'm not going to do that. It's something I would love to do, but I financially it doesn't make sense for me to do that. I would literally have to cut down my figure purchases just so I could buy replacement bases. And then what am I doing with all the original bases? I got to put them somewhere. So then I'm storing bases so I can keep the figures complete. I mean, I guess they can go back in the box, but excuse me. But prize figure boxes, I fold those down and I have them stacked up inside of totes. Except for the ones that have clamshells. Like anything that's clamshells stays complete, but anything that's a box with cardboard inserts gets cut, folded in, and put into a big box. Um, Yeah, I mean the acrylic bases, but yeah, you have to buy those. You have to buy them. You have to import them from Japan. A lot of people, talk about how they buy them on Mercari Japan and things like that. So I'm going to pay an arm and a leg to ship them here too. So even though they're going to cost a couple dollars for a custom base, it's going to cost me $10 to ship it. So by then I'm spending on two bases what I would spend on a prize figure. You see what I mean? Like not to throw shade because I've gotten accused of that already on someone's channel, but I don't buy figures, just public service announcement for everybody out there. Let me take a sip real quick before I get into this real quick. Mm, that's good coffee. All right, so just public service announcement because people have asked me, and I got crap for it on someone else's post for talking about it. Um, Me personally, I do not buy figures to resell them or make money off of them, right? In any way. Every figure you see me highlight, my collection stays in my collection. I keep their boxes, I keep everything brand new. I don't buy a bunch of stuff to make content and then get rid of it. I don't do that. I think it's disingenuous. I don't like it. And I know that's me, someone said I'm punching up at channels or whatever. Do your thing, do your grift, whatever. It works. I personally don't do that. And I get asked that a lot. And it's probably because of other content creators that do that, that I'll get people in my DMs all the time going, where are you selling this? How much are you selling this for? How much are you charging for this figure? I get all those things. What site are you using? Are you on Whatnot? Are you on eBay? Are you on here? I don't do that. I do not buy figures to grift on my channel and sell them for a profit later. I don't do that. So anybody asking about that, just it's not me. If I'm highlighting something, if I'm reviewing something, it's because I genuinely want that stuff. And unless I'm in like dire financial straits, that stuff is staying in my collection. The only way I might get rid of stuff is if I have to start downsizing, which I still have four more rooms in my house to fill. So I'm not downsizing anytime soon, you know. But that's my little PSA here for anybody watching, live right now or VODs afterwards. I'm not a reseller. So, for those of you guys asking, that's not my thing. I don't like it. I think it is. I know there's a lot of channels who have a lot of fans, all huge follower base, and I did get attacked by quite a few of them for making a comment on someone's post. But no, I don't do that. Again, I think it's very disingenuous, and I think it's a really bad grift because it doesn't feel like you're buying merch because you love the merch. You're buying merch to show it off and then make money off of it. And I don't like that. I don't like that. It's not as bad as being a scalper, but to me it's right on that level. I don't like it. But you know what? Like I said, everyone's got their grift. Everyone's making money off doing it. I can't judge. It's just not what I'm doing. So if you ever see me posting stuff, unboxing stuff, reviewing stuff, hyped with all these hauls of all these things I get, every haul video I have, those things are in my collection. Even though I haven't unboxed a lot of them, they're in my collection. So I do them, and my problem is I wait to make content for them. So a lot of them I don't unbox until months down the line or a year down the line. So, but yeah, it's not something I do. So for those of you guys who are always asking me about it, uh, it's not for me. Not what this channel does. So obviously go to one of those huger channels because that's what they do. But that's not me. So, uh, but after that segue, let's go ahead and let's talk about the one male character that I highlighted this week. And yeah, because we were filled with waifus this week. So for Figure Friday, I mean, he is a dude. He is a dude. I went with Panda from Jujutsu Kaisen in one of the sets that I actually really don't like. And this is one of the basic Van Presto figures. It has a subtitle. I don't remember what it's called. It has like a Jujutsu Kaisen yada 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 underneath it. I don't remember what it's called. It's in Japanese, but I know their boxes are small and they're white. And all the figures in that set have a white box, right? There's white box and there's black boxes. And these are from the white boxes. Him and Toji are the only ones I kept out of that set. Because yes, that is a set, to go to what I was just talking about, that I bought. I pre-ordered the set. I hated how small they were when you took them out of the box compared to all the other Van Presto figures. So I got rid of all of them. I actually sold them to one of my employees at work. So I got rid of all of them except for these two, Panda and Toji or Toto, because they actually scale a little bit better. The other ones in this set, like Nobara, was tiny, 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 and I was just like, this is not worth it. So I got rid of those. It's a series that I definitely tell people to stay away from. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up right now and I can show you guys what the set is. See if I can find it for you guys because I tell people stay away from this set. It's not the King of Artists series. The King of Artists series are a larger series. So those are one of the more premium sets. I'm trying to find what the set is right now. Ah, there's this one right here. It's an eBay. I don't want to go to the eBay listing though. All right. I think if I look up, see if I look up the Nobara one, if I can find her. Because this is it right here. So let's see if I can show this one really quick. Oh, let's see. So this one right here, this is the box style right here. Um, and they're just called the static figures, I believe. These, stay away from these. especially if you're paying normal prize figure prices, because they're actually charging like 25 to 30 bucks for these online, unless you can get them on sale. Do not go for this line right here with this box style. They are insanely tiny. They are not worth the money. And I found that out again the hard way myself. I opened this Nobara and she was rinky dink. It felt like someone just shrunk the prize figure. Not worth the money. I would not recommend these. And I would go with something a little bit larger, like the Sega Luminasta figures and things like that. Because, man, that line disappointed me so badly. Like I said, I got rid of all of them except for Panda because he's a little bit more of a chonky figure, and again the Toto because he does stand up a little bit taller than the rest of the characters. I think I actually might still have one of the Gojos from that set as well because there were two different Gojos too, and one of them was a little bit taller than the other, so I kept that, and then I actually gave the other one to my daughter's friend who was obsessed with Gojo. Uh, Seeing new season of JJK, Panda will have his own Oscar. I have not caught up with the whole new season yet. There's all the new seasons I have to catch up on, but I am caught up on the manga. I mean, the manga's done with, so I do know what is going on. Obviously, um, I got to catch up. I do. I get last week was school break for the kids, so it was just like me and the kiddo were just out and about having adventures, doing stuff, and I didn't get to catch up on anything. I did watch episode one of Marriage Toxin though, and I really do like that. So if you haven't checked that one out, definitely recommend if you want like a kind of rom-com kind of anime. Really good. A little bit more serious than My Dress Up Darling and stuff like that, but the female protagonist in that definitely visually gives Mari and Kitagawa vibes. So I'm probably gonna really enjoy it. Gigi, she loves it. She's obsessed with it. So let's see. Oh yes, that's right. There was one more figure. Sword Art Saturday. We went back, of course, to Sword Art Online with a little bit of a different figure. With my girl, Lisbeth, of course, our favorite blacksmith. And this one is a really wild one because it's not her in her blacksmith uniform. It's her in a gun gale costume. And this is actually from the Alization series of figures, which is also weird because they didn't do gun gale in Alization. So I don't know where this came from in their minds when they made this figure. But I'm happy we got a Liz figure because this is one of the few figures of Liz that we get. Normally we get the trio, obviously. We'll say maybe the foursome. Because sometimes, you get a lot, but you get your Asuna, you get your Lifa, and you get your Sinons usually. And you are lucky to get Yukis once in a while. There are quite a few Yukis. Um, so you don't really get as much variety of the tertiary characters, right? I think we got one or two silicas, and one of them was a really terrible noodle stopper. So any Liz figure in my book is a good Liz figure. And this is definitely unique, man. She's got the silver shoddy sitting there, like just it looks really cool. It's a very awkward pose with the 1 foot, but damn, they did a great job with her. All the details. She came out fantastic. It just makes me want more Liz pieces. And I'm still shocked that we didn't get any, Liz figures. I don't even know. Let's see. Let's do a quick Google search. Have they done any? We did get a bathing suit one. I do have that. She is actually. Let's see if I can grab her. She's right here. This one always gets flagged when I post her, so I don't ever really post her. Um, she got flagged on TikTok for adult content. She got flagged on, well, she got throttled on YouTube with with two views, but this is actually her swimsuit figure, her espresso swimsuit figure. And I mean, I love it. I think it's really, really awesome looking. I think she's really cool. But she always gets flagged, so I don't really post her very much. Her and the Asuna variant, stuff like that. Very, very cool piece. But yeah, we don't get enough of the other characters in SAO, and it kind of does suck. I mean, we even don't even have a lot of. Why do I always want to call her Saber? Um. Oh my God, I'm brain farting her name. Um. Alice. Yeah. Holy crap! I'm just talking about Alicization. Yeah, I just call her Great Value Saber. But we don't even get a lot of her. So it is funny that you usually get those three characters and occasionally a Yuki thrown in. But I guess it all goes by what characters sell. I just think if we put out Elizabeth in her blacksmith uniform, her classic SAO costume, I think people would buy that. I really do. And it sucks that we don't get them. So, but yeah, I'm looking up Liz figure and it showed me Maureen Liz from Mitre So Darling. Yeah, wrong Liz. But yeah, we don't have really any Ben Presto figures or anything like that. Like I was even hoping we got a Buy Cute Bunny of her, but we don't though. There's like prototype sketches and things like that, but there aren't a really lot of licensed Liz figures. I think maybe the three that I have are really all they've done so far. So it's kind of disappointing because, like I said, I love her character. She's one of my characters in the series. I think she's I want to say she's not my favorite character. I think that still goes to Yuki just because her arc was just it was heart wrenching. Her arc was crazy. But I definitely like Liz. I liked her. I don't even know. Like, I just loved the whole vibe of the character. And she still did thirst over Kirito like everyone else. But I don't know. Maybe it's just something about the tough blacksmith characters that I always kind of like. Ooh, I like her. But, I think she's done dirty, especially in the figure area. I think there should be more figures of them. And I know we've gotten a slowdown in Sword Art figures and Sword Art merch because Sword Art's kind of done. But I think we're getting a new movie. I think we're getting a new game. We got a new game got announced, which I'm after the last one I played. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. The last one I played, I streamed it and I actually crashed out. It was one of the first games I streamed, and it was so bad. The end game dungeon was so bad in it, and I lost my stuff online, man. I crashed the hell out, and I literally was just like, all right, guys, we're done. I'm deleting this game. It sucks. I hate it. We're done. And I did. I ended the stream. I deleted the game, and then I got the newer game, which is Fractured Daydream, and I didn't even want to play it. So I know there is another new game coming out. It is what is it called? It's called Echoes of Einkrad. And I just don't know how I feel about it yet because you're going to be climbing the tower during the beginning of SAO, but you're only going to go through, I believe it's the first three floors of the tower. I'm like, how are we going to do that? First and second floors. Okay. So we're going to have an entire game for the first and second floors of the 100 floor dungeon. I don't know how we're going to do that unless they're going to do the typical modern gaming thing and they're going to make all the other floors DLC. Maybe they're going to do that. I don't know. But I can see dirty game companies doing that. So we'll see. It'll be another game. I'm going to wait till it comes out and it's on sale for $20 and I'll probably pick it up. Because the SAO games are guilty pleasure games of mine. I've loved every one of them except for the last one. What the hell was it even called? what was that game called? Last Recollection. That's what it was. God, that game was, oh, that game pissed me off so bad. Yeah, it was a Sword Art Online Alicization Last Recollection. Do not recommend, just because the final dungeon alone pissed me off so bad. Like I said, it made me rage quit. I would not recommend it. Get Fractured Daydream because I hear it's really, really good. Or even the older games. The Gun Gale one is actually pretty fun. Fatal Bullet. Don't sleep on it. It's pretty fun. But yeah, those are my sword art segue. And that's it for the figures this week. So again, I didn't pick up many figures, just one, as I showed you guys. It was the little tiny World Coliseum bomb figure. So this is my only figure pickup this week. And look at that. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see the price. It was only $11. I only spent $11 on figures this week. I'm so proud of myself, guys. And she goes with the Reze. So I got the bomb and the Reze. Look at that. Look at that. The little chibi, little cute duo. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to rip these open and probably show them on one of the Waifu Wednesdays or Figure Fridays. Maybe when we do a chibi, maybe we'll go back and we'll do a chibi week. I haven't done a chibi week in a while. Maybe we'll do a chibi week where I just do World Coliseum figures because I have a bunch of My Hero ones and Reincarnated as a Slime ones. So now I got some some Chainsaw Man ones too. So. But yeah, I didn't really spend a lot of money on figures. So I was very proud of myself, very happy. Said I have a haul that's going to drop. Um, because I don't, uh, the Chainsaw Man pop-up parades I'm very torn on because of the Chainsaw Man ones. I like the more dynamic figures, but even unfortunately, we're not getting many of those either. It's sad because Chainsaw Man, I would figure would be one of those sets that like Sega would just take the ball and run with it and make some badass Luminosas or some figurisms, and they haven't yet. Because with such the great work they do with the Jujutsu Kaisen ones, I'm surprised we haven't gotten better Chainsaw Man figures. Because the Chainsaw Man prize figures actually kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie, I have a few, and I'm just like, why do I have these? Because like they're not that good. But I love Chainsaw Man. So it's like I was buying all the Chainsaw Man stuff I could because I was like, oh my god, there's a power figure, I gotta get it. And you take them out and you're like, these kind of suck. And it's super disappointing. It's all just like your basic Ben Presto prize figures that just there's really not much put into them. The pop-up parades, they're all right, but just like the Jujutsu Kaisen ones, it's just them standing in like a static pose. Like Denji's just standing. Makima is just standing. Power, she's just standing straight up. Like Kobane, she's standing up doing little peace signs. Just like the JJK ones where it's Gojo just standing straight up and down. Megami standing straight up and down. They're just basic and bland. I don't really like that. Especially with the JJK where they have such amazing, dynamic, like action oriented freaking figures. I would never buy a plain static JJK figure. But that's the problem with Chainsaw Man is I don't think we're getting as cool of figures. I do over there have the Figure Arts Zero Power. I have to unbox her, and I have the Kotobukiya Artifacts Power. And I don't think I really have much else. I'm trying to look at that shelf right there. I do have Bomb, the Ichiban Kuji one, but she's in the shipment right over here that I have to go through still. So yeah, it just that's the sad part about Chainsaw Man is there's so many cool characters that you could have such amazing dynamic figures, and we're not getting that. And I think now that the manga's over already, and the anime is probably going to go another maybe 2 seasons, maybe a season and a movie. So I think the ship's kind of sailed. Other than Reze, nobody's really doing much Chainsaw Man anymore. So the merch area, they kind of failed, I think. And you know, that's my opinion. But I will be honest, if they were to announce, Sega was to announce a figurism line or a Luminasta Battle Diorama series line, I would be instantly pre-ordering all of them because they would look so freaking awesome. But uh, but yeah, I don't know. It sucks. It sucks. I think some series get way too many figures, and then some don't get enough. You know, like look how much One Piece stuff we have. And I go to every anime convention, every anime, shop, and their shelves are lined with it. So they're not selling out of it. It's just there's a huge saturation of it. Um, and you see that with Dragon Ball stuff. Obviously, they're two of the biggest anime in history, but there is such an ungodly amount of merch, and you're never selling out of it. You put a Chainsaw Man Reze figure up on that shelf, it's gone that day. You know, you look at eBay, they're still upcharging for every single Reze figure that comes out. The newest one that came out, the newest Ben Presto one, the Vibration Stars one, people are already selling her for 50, $60. That's a $25 figure. So I think you're causing the scarcity, but they're also not putting enough into it. I think if they were, imagine there's a dynamic Luminasta series Reze and a dynamic Luminasta or a figurism Denji that you could kind of display together where they're in combat or something with the little like destroyed base and stuff like that. Dude, that would sell out instantly. Both those figures would sell out, but they're just I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe Sega can't get the license to them. I don't know, but I know we've got the buy cute bunnies for Chainsaw Man, obviously, which Power has the most obnoxiously large base ever, but they're really really cool. I just wish we could get something a little bit more, something a little more dynamic, and I feel like the sad reality is that Chainsaw Man came in and it spiked and just merch wasn't there. And it still isn't there, and it just when your merch isn't strong, it doesn't keep that longevity. That's how a lot of anime stay relevant and they stay kind of in the zeitgeist. Because I'm gonna say this: real anime fans, not the casuals, not the person who just puts on in the background, whatever. Most real, I'm gonna say most real anime enthusiasts and anime fans and manga enthusiasts and manga fans buy the merch. And that merch, if a new figure comes out for an anime that hasn't had a new season come out in 10 years, but new figures are coming out for it, the fandom is still gonna come out and they're gonna buy those figures and they're gonna go, holy crap, there's new Sword Art merch. Oh my god, new Attack on Titan figures. And people are gonna buy them. So that's the big difference between the Western stuff with the comic stuff and the anime stuff, right? You go to any discount store out there, right? You go to a Ross, you go to a Job Lot, you go to a Marshalls, whatever you got in your area, Ollie's, whatever. And you always see like Marvel figures and DC figures. Yes, you do see some anime like basic Ben Presto stuff in there as well that, just doesn't really do as well. But anime merch seems to sell 10 times better than Western merch. And again, that's how they keep the fandom going. If you end your series, you end your manga, you end your anime, whatever, and you just stop putting out merch for it, most series, and I'm not saying all, but a lot of series just going to fall off people's radar unless they're diehard fans. But there are a lot of series that keep getting merch even after they're done. And it keeps that fandom going. New fans of that series come in, hey, there's new merch for you to buy. Old fans of that series love that series. Guess what? We've got new merch for you to buy. It's smart because it keeps that series going, and it even can bring in new customers. So I think that's something we don't do in Western media as much. And the thing is, also Western media kind of sucks. So it does show the difference here. There's so much more anime merch that is selling even after the series goes away than you get with Western stuff. Yes, Spider-Man stuff still sells, Batman stuff still sells, absolutely. But other than your big trio of superheroes or whatever, most of that merch goes on discount racks. And that's just, it's just one of those things that I think is really good with the anime and the manga kind of ecosystem with their collectibles and their pins and all their little knickknacks I like to call them, right? They continually keep putting the stuff out, especially in between seasons. So like ReZero has had a big break between seasons, but you're still getting merch coming out like hotcakes. Granted, we need freaking Subaru figures, guys. Hello, we need some Subaru representation. But they keep it going, and they keep the fan base going, and they keep things hyped because there's always new figures coming out. And it sucks because Chainsaw Man just doesn't seem to be getting that. We got a couple Kuji figures. That's great, but we haven't really gotten much else. So it's a little bit of a letdown. I think that does suck, and I think we do need some more dynamic Chainsaw Man figures because man, that is one of those anime that you could make such awesome figures, like battle figures. Oh, such cool stuff, and I just feel like they dropped the ball. But that's it. Now let's go to the end of the figure segment. Now that I went on those couple little rants here, but normally I give my favorites the higher end, my favorites for the lower end. Let's do a quick rundown of what we did. My Hero Monday, her Ravity, Good Smile, Papa Parade in her dope school uniform. Absolutely love this one, guys. If you can get your hands on one, definitely get her. And the Froppy that does go with her because they look so freaking awesome together. Twin Tuesday, really, really weird one. Still gonna say it. The Mecha Rem is the most obscure. I don't want to say the most obscure, but it's probably the most obscure anime figure that maybe I have. She is just an odd one, and as much as I hate that base, I love the figure. So it definitely is one of those weird ones. Waifu Wednesday, of course, one I absolutely adore. One that was one of our episodes of Prize Figure Face Off. Of course, Freerin from the Sega Luminasa series, which are just chef's kiss. This is, of course, her maid costume version, and I think it is an absolute banger. She is absolutely gorgeous, and it is a hefty piece. You could definitely knock someone out using the thing as a weapon. Figure Friday. Panda. Speaking of JJK, we want Panda from JJK in the uh, basic static, whatever you want to call it, Banpresto series. Not a series I recommend, as I showed earlier, but it's Panda, so we're cool with it. And then finished off the week with another kind of rare one, Liz, of course, our favorite blacksmith from Sword Art Online, rocking her badass silver shotgun in her Gun Gale Online uniform. So, um, what was my favorite one this week? It's a toss up. Uh, it's gonna be. I want to give it to Aravity. I do. I want to give it to the Pop Up Parade Aravity. But I'm looking at them all right now. I think my pick this week, because it's only lower end stuff. Normally I do higher end and lower end, but this week it's only lower end. I could cheat and call Papa Parade a higher end, but it's not. Um, I gotta go with Freerin for my figure of the week this week. It's just such a beautiful piece, and I love Freerin. It is one of my favorite anime in probably the last at least. I want to say it's one of my favorites in the last 5 years. I'm not going to say decade. I'll say 5 years, but I absolutely adore it. And just having this other take on Freerin in such a beautiful piece, the size of the piece and the price of the piece cannot go wrong. Sega Luminasta, Sega Figurism, guys. Some of the best quality prize figures that you can get. Still, I never sleep on them. I don't think you should. And if you can get yourself the Freerin and the Fern that goes with her, I cannot recommend these highly enough. So that was my favorite figure of the week. What was everyone else's? Let me know again in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on the VOD afterwards. And let me know what you guys want me to do for our themed week for May. Because like you said, every month I like to do a different theme week. This month we had Hatsune Miku week. So I'm thinking of May either doing a um something a little bit different that I haven't done in a while, a Marvel week or a DC week or a gaming week or something like a Chibi week again. I know I did one of those a little while ago, but I have all different types of theme weeks I do. I'd love to do a Bunny Girl week. I knew you texted me and you said that. You didn't say it. You didn't say it in the chat. I saw you text it though. um, you're such a jerk. I just responded to you, dude. I just responded to you, and then you freaking go and you type it out in the chat now too. I already talked about it. You ruined the whole thing. You ruined it. You ruined it. Yeah. After he texts me, this is what this guy says after he texts me. Yeah. Bunny Girl Week for sure. There, I said it in the chat. Yeah, right there, bud. No, but yeah, don't text me. Like, say it in the chat, dude. Contribute. But yeah, I would love to do a Bunny Girl Week, but I will get negative views, and YouTube will throttle the hell out of me, and TikTok will adult content hit everything. So I don't really know if I want to do a Bunny Girl Week. I would love to do one. I just don't. I just don't know if it's gonna hurt my channel so much that I just don't know if I can do it. And the channel's already kind of suffering enough as it is right now because of last week with school break. I got such bad views. I didn't get to put any videos out, so I don't know if doing a Bunny Girl Week would really be very beneficial for the channel right now. I got to actually put out stuff that is going to increase my views, not not put me in the negative reviews. So doing one Bunny Girl a week already throttles my views enough as it is. So and now with the lowering of YouTube Shorts traffic that YouTube has done, um, I have to kind of pick and choose a little bit better what I'm doing because shorts have kind of taken over the channel, as I said. And if I'm not posting any shorts and people aren't coming to the long form because people join my channel through the shorts, it kind of sucks. So I just got to get back into it and start doing some more long form videos. So again, as I said last week, I'm going to try to start getting in May. May we're going to start it up. I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 videos long form every single week, and then still do the 5 shorts, but maybe start weaning off the shorts on YouTube. Maybe I'll stick the shorts to just being TikTok exclusive and Instagram exclusive, and then we'll show all those pieces off on the live streams and do it that way. So we'll see. I'm gonna think of maybe a new strategy for how to do things, but again, I'm trying to kind of figure my way out to what we can do to kind of boost things back up a little bit. But that's it for the figure portion of this. We had some good segues, had some good segues. So figures went a little bit longer. Next week, just we're gonna try something next week. So you guys already know. Next week there is a live stream for a new game. Um, what is it called? There is a new game coming out called Blood of the Dawn Walker, and they're actually doing a live stream next week during Caffeinated Collector. So I'm going to next week try to zip through the figures in that first hour as quickly as I can and possibly bring up their live stream and live react to the live stream because I'm very curious about this game. It's from some former, I believe it's former Witcher developers that are working on this game. And it's going to take place in uh, early centuries Europe. It's going to be their first game. It's Rebel Wolves. It's going to be under Bandai Namco though, so I'm not sure if they'll hit me for it or not. Like we're gonna find out. And it's got a lot of vampire theme stuff. So it's like a medieval, vampire Witcher, essentially. So I'm definitely curious about this. I'm hopeful for it, but we haven't seen enough about it yet. So we're gonna hopefully see some more stuff with this new thing because we have, yeah, literally, yeah, Conrad. I don't know. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce his name. He was the director of Witcher 3. Only problem is he was the head of production on Cyberpunk 2077 too. Yeah, I don't know. But he was one of the guys who got fired for workplace bullying. So I don't know if it's gonna be good. The Witcher stuff has me hopeful, but the Cyberpunk stuff has me not hopeful. So we'll see where this lands, But we're gonna try to do a live reaction to it, and if we get copyright hits, we'll obviously stop reacting to it. But that's kind of the game plan for next week. So you guys want to jump on? You guys want to live react to things? You want to watch it here with me? We're gonna try to do that. We're gonna see if we can get it to work. But I don't know. Like I said, we're gonna try to get it to work. So that's the plan for next week. So let's get into some nerd topics. Let's talk nerdy because I mean the first half of this show ain't nerdy enough, showing a bunch of plastic figures. Um, my now cold coffee. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Uh, Trying to figure out what. Do we have any good topics to talk about today? I don't know, man. We got some negative stuff. Why don't we get to the big one? So some of these things didn't happen last week, and I like to talk about things from the previous week, but since I delayed a little bit this week in the stream, uh, there's a couple of new topics that came up, and we're gonna talk about some of them. The biggest one, and then some of these articles are coming from Game Rant because literally it was one of the spots that wasn't pop up littered that I could find that just kind of had everything I needed. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna talk about this because man, this has been heating up on the internet, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents as much as I can because this doesn't really affect me as much as it does other people. But here we are over on Game Rant with this article here. PlayStation fans are confused over the PS5's new internet connection requirements. So, if you guys don't know, uh, in the past couple days, Sony announced a new 30-day online check feature for all digital games purchased on their storefront. And that's kind of got the internet in a big, big kind of kerfuffle here. Got a lot of people really pissed off. PlayStation's been pretty good at doing that lately. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy, but they've been pissing people off a lot lately, and I don't know how this is gonna go for them. So let's go talk a little bit about this. I'm going to read some of this article, kind of give my 2 cents about it as well. Recent system update for PS5 may have brought a subtle change to digital games and console sharing, potentially requiring players in and out, but not potentially. It is. It's confirmed. Uh, Although it's confirmed through chat, so I don't know if that's considered confirmed or not. But it's requiring players to connect to the internet regularly to validate their licenses. Fans notice a controversial PlayStation change in PS5's March 2026 update. So it's weird that this is just kind of coming out now because it was from last month's update. But so basically, when you buy a digital game, you're basically buying the license for that game, right? And they can revoke that license at any time. I know they did that with what is the Activision game? Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I know those licenses got pulled and the games got pulled as well. So I know there's places like Steam and things like that that don't revoke the game from you, but consoles have a different kind of way of doing things. And it does get a little muddy in the console cycles because they only have licenses for so long, and then they have to pay to renew that license. Well, sometimes they don't, and then the game goes kaput. So I always say this is why I always say physical always, because they can't take that physical game from you. But we'll get into that in a minute. So, ownership of digital games has been a hot button issue for many gamers with the rise of online marketplaces like Steam and the PlayStation Store. Many have called into question whether customers actually own the games they are buying digitally. They don't, with storefronts closing, potentially causing players to lose access to games they paid for. The growth of online live service games has also caused similar controversy, given that microtransactions can become inaccessible when a game's server shut down. Now, a rumored change to the PlayStation Store is stirring up more controversy around digital games. Hey, what's up, Loudboy? How we doing today, man? Good to see you. Good timing, good timing. We're doing some gaming talks now. Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna show them off again after we talk about some new stuff, but um have you I know you talked about this with me on the stream a little bit. So this is right up your alley as well. This digital storefront nonsense. So good time and stop in, man. So let's see. PlayStation fans are furious over the PS5's connectivity policy. So this is from Pirate Nation. Obviously, I follow him too. PlayStation support has confirmed that a new digital rights management policy for the console is intentional and not a glitch. Because when this did happen in March, people thought it was a glitch. People thought it was just some kind of hiccup in the update and it was going to get ironed out. So, starting with any digital games purchased after March 2026's system update, your PS5 will require an internet connection at least once every 30 days. Now, this is actually a PlayStation Online Assistant post. I'm not going to open up Twitter because Twitter has a lot of weird stuff on it, but it says right here, thank you for your interest in the 30-day timer that is being applied to all new purchases. Affected content games purchased digitally after the March update. Online functionality. If the console does not connect to the internet within 30 days, the license expires and the game may refuse to launch until a connection is restored. May being the key word. May do it is the key word. We don't know if all games are going to do it. So that's something to kind of put a pin in and kind of revisit, right? Yeah, it's going to affect a lot of people. I mean, honestly, in the digital age, though, how many people is it really going to affect? How many people have their system offline for 30 days? And I'll get into my thoughts on that after we go through this because this is definitely an interesting topic, and this is probably going to take up a good chunk of the stream today because this is a pretty big deal. Um, but it's also stuff that other places have done too. So again, Sony does it, it's bad. Everyone else does it, it's fine. PS5 March system update reportedly included a new feature that could significantly impact online games. Some fans have discovered the new valid period timer on digital games, suggesting that they will be unavailable to play after a set period of time. The change has been heavily rumored to be related to the new DRM policy from Sony, requiring players to log in once every 30 days in order to continue playing their digital games. Customer support agents for Sony initially confirmed the changes to be an unintentional glitch on the PS5. Sony's automated customer support has also been inconsistent about the implementation, including some online assistant conversations suggesting it will be exclusively applied to PS5 console sharing. So, we're not actually sure the ramifications of this yet. We don't know yet, and Sony doesn't seem to know yet, which is the interesting thing, right? Yeah. God of War versus Legend of Zelda. I'm gonna go God of War all day. New Zelda's boring. But segue out of that. The potential Sony change. Get out of here, pop up. Potential Sony change has sparked plenty of backlash from fans furious about the decision to force internet connectivity. Many emphasize the rumored update to the PlayStation Store as another step towards a fully license-based model, with players only purchasing rights to play a game instead of properly owning it. Newsflash, guys. I don't know if you're new to the internet. I don't know if you're new to gaming. If you buy a digital game, you aren't buying the digital game. It has been that way forever. Since the digital games have started. You buy a digital game, it's in the fine print. You are buying a license to that game. And yes, that was my chair squeaking. I know, it's annoying. You do not own digital games. That is where the you will own nothing and you will love it whole thing comes from, guys. That is what I've been saying about gaming since before I was even doing this channel. If you buy digital, you are part of a problem and you are part of this continuing trend. That's why I always say to buy physical games. Support physical games, support physical media, because guess what? They can't come to your house and take your physical game away. They might be able to take down all the updates. They can do all that. Sure. Those key cards, they can take all that down. Sure. They can't take your physical things away, though. They cannot come to your house like the Gestapo, break down your door, and take your physical game collections. They can never do that. Unless, well, with the way the world works now, maybe they will eventually. Who knows? But if you have the internet, you should already know this. This is not news. I've known that, and I don't even buy digital games. That's one of the reasons why I don't buy digital. Because it's not my game. I don't own it. I can't do anything with it. I can play it, I can uninstall it, and that's it. Physical games, I can buy it, I can sell it, I can loan it to people, I can do whatever I want. So, that's where this is coming into play, I think. So, we're going to go right here. Fans mocked Sony's rumored online-focused policy as being similar to the one Microsoft had toyed with during development of the Xbox One, which was scrapped before the console's launch. And yes, we all know about that whole kerfuffle with the always online feature, the DRM checks, all the monthly checks that was going on when Xbox, I guess it was the Xbox One. I thought it was the Xbox S, but yeah, whichever. I don't know. I don't buy Xbox anymore anyway, so we all fought that, or everyone fought that, and they backed off. So we'll see what happens to Sony. But PlayStation's potential new limits on digital games has also sparked a push towards a growing movement aimed at game preservation. The Stop Killing Games initiative caught fire in response to Ubisoft's handling of the shutdown of The Crew. The online campaign has amassed more than 1 million signatures since being launched in April of 2024. That's not much, guys. Do better. April of 2024, that thing should have millions of signatures because game preservation is important. I say that all the time. This should be getting more coverage. People should be more focused on game preservation and not just what games they can get for sale on Steam. That's the problem now, you know. The campaign has caught the attention of European governing bodies and consumer organizations, including the French consumer group filing a lawsuit against Ubisoft in March. The movement even sparked some lawmakers to push new policies aimed at preserving games after their servers are shut down, which I do agree is some kind of clause that should be put into effect. If you put a product out there and people have to pay money to use said product, and then you just take product away, that sucks. Any kind of digital only things, I think there should be some kind of preservation, whether it's stored somewhere in some kind of an internet database or whatever, internet archive, whatever you want to call it, it should be done that way. 100%. Still have all my DVD games since 90s. I got one for you. I got all my VHS. I got a lot of my VHS tapes. Okay, so I'm right there with you. So that's it for that article. I won't dip too much into the article, um, but let's talk a little bit about that. So I always say if it's not physical, I'm not buying it. Right? That's my thing, and this is just another indicator of why physical games matter, why game preservation matters. Right? These two things are some of these most important parts of any type of media, really, in my opinion. Gaming, movies, music, all these things, physical matters because of stuff like this going on. I'm paying money. I mean, hell, new games digitally are the same as they are physically, right? New copy of a new game costs 70 bucks, 60 bucks. Physical copy costs 60, 70 bucks. Well, why would I buy it digitally? Well, it's the convenience factor, right? And that's what a lot of people do. People laugh at me and go, Why do you why do you buy physical games? I can just load it at midnight. I don't care. You know where I'm at midnight? I'm at work. So having that game show up the next day, it's fine with me. Going to the store and picking it up the next day is fine by me. But guess what? At the end of the day, I have that physical disc. I have that physical copy. They can't put a license restriction on my physical game. Unless it's an online only game, which they can do all kinds of weird stuff with. But do I think it's messed up that Sony's doing this? Absolutely. Do we know the details of this yet fully? We don't. Because as that article said, some games may not work. Some. And that's key phrasing right there, in my opinion. To where maybe it's an overreaction. But maybe people aren't looking at the wording like the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing some games may not function, right? I don't know how far it's going to go. And maybe it's going to be up to each developer and each studio and each company as to what they want to do with the license, right? But here's my thing on the matter, okay? And this is again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't buy digital games. Okay? I do not. I might start dabbling. I dabbled a little bit in Steam since I got my new computer. Right? I bought one game so far, and it was $6. Okay? Civ 5 Complete Edition. I freaking love the Civ games. I bought it. But I also own it on disc. So there's that. But as someone who doesn't have any stake in this, right? This doesn't affect me because I don't buy digital games. My thing with this, and I've seen it in my own groups of friends and other people that I'm in other groups with and Facebook groups and things like that. Whatever, I know Facebook, I'm old, but the big problem with digital games comes in with the game sharing and the offline stuff, right? So I have friends that they buy a game, they log into their account on their friend's system, their friend downloads the game for free, right? So now what this does is if you're not logging in on that system every 30 days, that person can't play that game. I get that because they're game sharing, okay? I get that. See, with me, if someone wants to play my game, I can hand them my disc and they can play it off the disc on their system. And they can give it back to me when they're done. Right? Don't mean to keep bringing up physical, but it's true. So I think that's one of the things they're trying to crack down on. They're trying to crack down on game sharing. But I've also seen on eBay and things like that, right? You have all these consoles, even going back to PlayStation 3. I have one with this game on it as well. PT. You see consoles with a copy of PT installed on them going for insane prices because it was pulled off the storefront, right? And that was before digital licenses. You downloaded that game, you bought that, you got that demo, it was yours, right? So I think another one of the things is you see a lot of people loading up these systems with games. And because there's no license checks right now, so all the games pre-March don't require the check-ins, right? So if I buy a console, I buy a bunch of games, I game share it over to those consoles, and then I sell that console, it's loaded with a bunch of games. And then I can log in on my account and I can re-download them onto my other system. I think that is something they're trying to crack down on, right? I don't know. I'm not in their heads. I don't know. But to me, that's what it's doing. Exactly, right here. It's just like with streaming services, right here. They're cracking down on password sharing and everything else. So streaming services do it, right? They crack down on password sharing. They crack down on all this stuff. I think, and like I said, this is just my take on things, which is why I don't really care. I do, but I don't. I think it's more of I know it's anti-consumer. I know it is. But it's always the minority of people doing the messed up stuff that ruin it for everyone else, right? We see that in every industry. We see that in every fandom. It's always that small minority that are doing the stupid stuff that causes this big ripple effect to hit everybody. And I think those two things are one of the big factors of why this is happening, right? I think between the game sharing and the selling of consoles loaded with a bunch of games are a big factor in it. But on the flip side, here's my other thing with this. All right. If you're buying digital games online, you're downloading digital games online, are you going to tell me that you're not logging into your system at least once every 30 days? Really? Even if you only buy one game a month, you're logging in once a month. So is it really going to affect anybody that is legitimately buying physical or digital games? Sorry. Let me rephrase it. Is it going to really affect the people who are legitimately buying digital only? I don't think it's going to. Is it going to be a hot button thing for people to go and rage on the internet about and just take it and run? 100%. Here I am. I'm talking about it. I don't even buy freaking digital games. But is it going to affect the actual digital game purchaser at the end of the day? No, I don't think it is. Because unless you're on a desert island with no access to internet for a month, it's not going to affect you. It's going to affect the people who are doing the shady things, right? It's going to affect the people that are game sharing. It's going to affect the people that are loading all these consoles up and selling them off full of a bunch of games. It's going to affect those people. And I know these scumbags are going to try to keep selling the consoles loaded with games. And I feel bad for the people gullible enough to buy them because they're going to log into those systems and it's going to go, log into your PlayStation account for the license. And they're going to be stuck with a brick. So I know it's not the most popular take on this, but I don't think it's going to drastically affect anybody who is legitimately buying digital games. And I know That's not a popular thing. Yeah, I know people can live without the internet. Absolutely. But do you want to know the best alternative to all this crap? Support physical. Support physical. I know there's downloadable updates and downloadable content and things like that, but I can I can say from my own collection that in my PS5 games, I think other than online games, 90% of my single player games do not require internet to install. And I say that all the time. I proved that point with Stellar Blade. People denied that Stellar Blade could be played offline. It could not be played off the disc. It could. Stellar Blade, fully installed off disc. I proved it. I streamed it like that. I installed the game off the disc without all the day one updates or the patches or anything. I installed it completely offline. Started the game, went online, started my stream, and streamed the entire game unpatched, uncensored through my first entire playthrough. Then I went through and did all the updates, and I showed people the difference between what happened with the updates and what happened off the disc. So, yes, most games can be played. I'm not saying all. Most games can be installed and played off the disc. Now, when you look at things like Cyberpunk or Bethesda games, they ain't going to run the best because they need about 9,000 updates before they actually run the way they should. But the game is there and you can play it. So, what I hope comes out of this is that we start to see an uptick in physical media. We start to see an uptick in physical games. I feel that way with streaming services as well. There is no preservation with streaming services. If that show gets yeeted off the platform, it's gone for good. One of my favorite shows in recent years got yeeted off the platform, and I have no way of getting it anymore. Future Man on Hulu. I freaking adore that show. I rewatch it so many times. I still have most of the scenes in that series memorized. I love it. And they just took it off the service. I can't watch it anywhere. They don't have physical copies of it. There's bootleg copies of it, which I'm probably going to end up buying. But you've taken that away from people. I know I know Disney Plus did that with the Willow show. That was really bad. But again, you make this show, you spend all this money, and then you take it off your platform. And then it's just gone. So I think my solution to people is not the solution you want to hear. Buy physical. And maybe if companies start seeing a decline in digital sales and an increase in physical sales, it will start to put more focus on the physical titles. I don't know. That's just me. And again, it could be again the old man shouting at clouds. I get told I'm just an old guy. I'm a boomer. I'm this. I'm that. Whatever. Uh, I just think that's the best solution. But again, I do think. Do I think it's a crappy policy? Yes, I do. My theory is if you buy something, you should own it. That's why again I don't do digital because I know you never own it. But adding more restrictions on stuff always sucks. But do I blame Sony? Sure, I do. I blame them for making the policy. But as I said, I blame the bad apples that ruin it for everyone else. With every stupid thing that happens like this, I always look to and go, why is that happening? Who's ruining it? And then I look at it from that way. I don't look at it from, oh my God, they did this thing. They're horrible. I look for the reasons as to why. And I know that's not what they're saying, but those are in my head, that's some of the big reasons as to why. Because some people have been posting and tweeting that they're hearing about, we're trying to stop game sharing, we're trying to stop this, we're trying to stop that. I understand that because I've seen people do it. I see people do it all the time. So I get it. And we could say corporation, greedy, all these things. Yes, 100%. They are. They are greedy. They are a corporation. They are here to make money. That's what everyone does. Okay? I get it. I'm not defending them. I'm not saying they are in the right. I'm saying it sucks and it is a crappy policy, but it's being put into effect for a reason. And I think those two reasons are they're affiliating that to a loss of money. But on the other hand, people are going to stop buying their digital games. So they're going to lose money anyways. So they're going to have to look at how things go the next, 6 months and weigh it out and go, what are we losing more money with? People game sharing or people just not buying our games digitally anymore? So it's going to be an interesting rollout to see how this actually goes. And I don't think it's going to go well either way. But I don't know. That's again, I don't really have any aspect where this is going to affect me. So again, it doesn't matter as much to me, but I do, being a gamer and being a PlayStation gamer, I do have opinions and I do have thoughts on it. Whether or not you agree with me is fine, but it might be the most mild hot take, and it's definitely the minority opinion. But I think there are, again, reasons why it's happening. Oh God, yeah. The world is definitely from the '90s. We didn't. I miss those days. I miss when everything was physical and everything was tangible and everything was there. I do. I miss that. I would rather have shelves of CDs on my wall for music than what we have now. I would 100% love to do that, but problem is now everything's so expensive. So it's hard to do it. It's easier for me to just listen to everything on Spotify with ads. But I don't know. I would love to know, everyone else's takes on this. Like, if you guys are digital gamers, obviously this affects you all more than it affects me. But my solution is always physical. Yeah, and then we talked about that. We talked about that last week, I think, with the age verification and stuff like that. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy now. Because I think Sony wants to do it now too. They're thinking about doing age verification. So, yeesh, I don't know. It's crazy, man. But yeah, I know I went a little long on that topic, but again, I know it's a big topic right now. I know people are very heated about it. And like I said, my solution is not the most popular one. Buy physical. And we're gonna go into that segue actually of physical games to something a little bit on a happier note. Let's go from sad news to some happy news, right? A little game came out last week. Another Nintendo banger for the Switch 1. Switch 1, guys. Called Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. And apparently it's blowing the doors off of its expectations. So while we don't have all the sales numbers, because Nintendo doesn't really supply all those um, as much, right? We do have some Japanese sales numbers. And I want to share this because this is amazing. This is why I say physical media, guys, is important. So here we go. We're on Nintendo Wire, right? You go there for my Nintendo stuff occasionally. They're not a bad site. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream tops Japanese sales charts, outsells the competition by a wide margin. I am so happy to hear that, guys. So good. I love the original Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. I have my copy still. Such a fun game. Um, so let's go here. Nintendo's latest Switch release, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, has skyrocketed up the Japanese sales charts for its first week of sales, according to Famitsu's weekly sales report. Not only is the Life Sim game incredibly popular, but it's absolutely stomping the competition when it comes to pure sales numbers. I love to hear it. As we can see from the top 10 games, Tomodachi Life is sitting at number one with around 565,405 copies sold in its debut week. Physical copies, mind you guys. Physical only, we're talking. Second place is Capcom's newly released Pragmata for the PS5 with only 36,470 copies sold. That is roughly 15 times the amount of copies sold between the two entries, which is wild. And that is freaking wild. Pragmata for Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't even show up in the top 10, likely because everyone with a Switch is playing Tomodachi Life. I agree. So this kind of came out and just slapped the crap out of everything out this last week. And we'll go down here to the top 10 charts, right? This is, again, these are Japanese physical sales. These are not including digital sales. So Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. It says Switch 2. It's a Switch 1 game, guys. It is not a Switch 2 game. Physical copies are a Switch 1 game. There is no Switch 2 version yet. That is incorrect. But I think they just classify everything as Switch. Oh, maybe they don't, because there's actually another Switch 1 right here. So that is actually incorrect. Switch 2, it's not a Switch 2 game. It's a Switch 1 game. 565,405 physical copies sold. Pragmata debut at 36,000 physical copies. Pokopia 19,000. And right now we're at 900,000 physical copies sold in Japan. I'm surprised it hasn't hit a million yet, but also have to work for digital sales as well. So maybe once you factor in digital, we've hit that number. But Tomodachi Life already selling half the amount of physical copies of Pokopia is pretty damn impressive. That's a sign. That is a big tell right there. Mario Kart World, 5,000 copies. Minecraft on the Switch, 3,500. Animal Crossings for the Switch, 3,500. I don't know what Doraemon Doriyaki Shop story is. Debuted at 3,000 copies. Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, 3,000 copies. Nintendo Switch Sports, 2,400. And Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green for the Switch. Because, yes, in Japan, they did get a physical cart of that. So, a lot of Switch games. Switch is very popular in Japan. It's very popular here as well. Um, but I think that is a very good thing. I think seeing the physical copies of that game sell out so well, they're even selling out here in America. That's a great sign. And unlike Pokopia, it is not a game key card. It is the game on the cart. Good job. Good job. And do you want to know why? Because it's a Switch 1 game. They didn't start this game key card crap until the Switch 2. So I will continue to buy Switch 1 games. I will continue to support physical Switch games. I will continue to support Switch games that are not key cards. And I will still rock out with my launch day Switch 1. Like, good. Oh yeah, I saw that new Monopoly. Yeah, new Monopoly game got announced for the Switch. It's just shovelware to me. But yeah, those are some impressive ass sales numbers. Especially being physical games. That is really, really good. Um, let's see. We're getting a little to the wire here, but we do have some other stories. We have some sad news, some kind of sadder news. I don't know which one's more sad. And I got one more good news topic. Um, so there's a sad news. There's the sad news just for me. It's kind of sad. And then there's the good news, another little good little tidbit. So we'll go bad news, and this just happened recently. Um, it sucks. And I believe this actually just happened, I think, yesterday. But going back over to Game Rant here, this sucks. I mean, it always sucks to see studios closing. Uh, Greedfall's developer, Spiders, is shutting down. Now, I am one of the people who absolutely loved Greedfall. I think it with a few extra little tweaks, would have been one of my favorite games that I played, especially during that time period when it came out. Greedfall was definitely an underrated gem of a game, and I adored it. But from what I heard, two, not so good. They went way from what I heard, and again, I didn't play it. From what I heard, the stories behind it are that it went extremely woke and extremely cringe, and it just people didn't like it. And it's not even fully released yet, from what I believe. I believe it's still early access. So, a lot of negative feelings towards it. Uh, so right here, the partisan development studio Spiders is officially closing its doors after nearly 2 decades in the industry. Even as the team celebrates the launch of Greedfall: The Dying World, while the arrival of Greedfall: The Dying World marks a major achievement for the developers, the broader situation surrounding their parent company has created a very difficult environment for the staff. According to reports, the legal process to end the studio's operations is expected to move forward this week. Spiders first arrived back in 2008 and quickly made a name itself, creating ambitious action RPGs that punched well above their weight class. Titles like Mars Wars Logs and The Technomancer. Oh my god, I remember that game. It was such a janky mess, but it was still fun. Um, established the studio as a veteran of European AA games. Spider's most significant breakthrough was with the original Greedfall, which garnered a cult following its unique setting and choice-driven narrative. That was a really good game. I love it. Love it. Um, the group was acquired by Big Ben Interactive, which later became Nacon, with the hopes the studio would become a flagship for their new publishing efforts. However, recent months have been defined by financial instability across the organization, leading to the emergency insolvency filings for several major divisions. So apparently, Greedfall 2, The Dying World, was the nail in the coffin for Spiders. Um, Kind of sucks because I really had high hopes for the sequel. I love Greedfall 1. I actually want to buy the PS5 remaster, but yeah, we're saying this game, I'm saying this game was the nail in the coffin because it's gotten approval to close down the studio, and we've now French law typically requires the liquidator to issue layoff notices within 15 days of the court's final ruling, making swift end to the company operations. So there's approximately 70 employees currently at the studio, and they've been preparing for the line Life After Spiders. So instead of working on patches or new content, the staff is focused on updating their resumes and participating in self-study sessions. So we're not even going to get any final updates for this game. It's done. It's over. It's gone. And sucks for all those people that are going to lose their jobs. But the problem is, again, as I said it in previous streams, all it takes is one bad product to topple you now in this industry. And that is the problem, is you have these kind of niche games that are coming out. You have the studio known for all these niche games, and they do well enough. And then you kind of overstep a little bit more. You get a little too into those murky waters. And again, I haven't played Greedfall 2. I was waiting for a full release. But from what I understood, it was filled with just cringy, just PC, woke, nonsense. Those are things I was told. I'm not saying it myself. Don't quote me on that. But these are the things I've heard. This is all the feedback I've heard about it from people who are doing the early access. It was full of cringy dialogue, full of these, all these, what do you want to call them? Like brain dead, male characters being talked down to all the time, looking like fools. Every female is the best at everything. They're the strongest. They're the best. They're the smartest. It was filled with all those typical Westernisms, as I like to call them, that ruin our Western media. There's no signs of weaknesses from any of the characters other than males. There's no stupidity from any characters other than males. And that's all I heard about this from people was how cringy it was, and then how bad the dialogue was. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not hearing good things about it. I'll wait until after it releases and see what happens. But sad reality is it doesn't look like we're gonna actually get that. So RIP Spiders, man. You know, you guys had some great games. Steel Rising was a lot of fun. It was rough. It was fun. Technomancer, another one, very rough, very janky, still fun. And Greedfall, man, Greedfall was such a gem. I still say if you guys could pick it up, definitely pick up the original Greedfall, the remaster on PS5 probably, which is what I'm gonna do. That game was so much fun, but sad to see a studio close another one. So yeah, we lost another one. Uh, let's go to. We got a little bit. We got a little bit more time. We can go a little longer today because I didn't stream yesterday. So we'll make up for that. So another thing, we're gonna go over to some anime news now. See what this is. Digital Bros to take over Wu Chang Fallen Feathers IP game. What is that? They have a new game? Let me look up. What do they have? They have a new game coming out? I didn't see that. Oh, right here. Digital Bros. Okay. See, I didn't really know that. I didn't play Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, so I'm looking up it up right now. Um, I don't even know I don't even know who Digital Bros is. Sorry, I'm just looking at this right now. It was just, like I said, it was just brought up here. So Digital Bros. I'm gonna look at who's Digital Bros. I don't even know who they are. I've never even heard of them. They're an Italian developer, publishes and distributes games under 505. Oh, so they're actually the 505 games. Okay. So I know all their other studios. I just didn't know that was their actual company name. Okay. So, all right. So yeah, they bought the rights to Wu Chang apparently. That's interesting. I didn't I didn't play that game still, so I heard it was just another Souls game, so I skipped it. But let's shift over to some anime stuff real quick. Because obviously I cover a lot of anime stuff. Seems like on this I kind of run away with a lot of gaming conversations here on the stream, but I do game streams, so whatever. We're in the same vein. But let's talk about another interesting article here. We're gonna go over to Dexterdo. And this is something that I actually was interested. I found very interesting. Uh, Netflix overtakes Crunchyroll as the top anime streaming platform in most countries. So I have thoughts on this, and I'll get into my thoughts after we read the article. Let's take a look at this because it's very interesting. I have my theories on it as well. So Netflix has become the most popular platform for streaming anime outside of Japan and China, overtaking dedicated anime streaming platform Crunchyroll according to a new survey. The finding comes from Gem Partners' 2026 Anime Global White Paper, which surveyed around 15,000 people across 15 countries to measure anime viewing habits worldwide. Honestly, that's not a very big amount of people, guys. This article, it could be nothing. It could be like most surveys where it's a nothing burger, but it's interesting to me. So, Netflix leads anime streaming in most major markets. According to the report, machine translated, Netflix ranked as the top platform for anime in 7 out of 9 major markets, including the US, UK, Germany, France, and Brazil. That puts it ahead of Crunchyroll, which has traditionally been seen to as that way, traditionally been seen as the go-to destination for dedicated anime fans, thanks to its large library and simulcast releases. It's also backed up by internal figures from Netflix, which has previously said that more than half its global subscribers now watch anime. Now, that's interesting, but not unexpected. Let's start with that. Let me take a sip before we get into more of this. While tastes and preferences differ across territories, Naruto and Boruto ranked much higher in popularity outside of its native Japan. Others, like JJK, ranked high in popularity across all countries. While Crunchyroll offers a far greater quantity of anime content than Netflix, the latter has several series not available on the former, including Cyberpunk Edgerunners and Devilman Crybaby. Earlier this year, Crunchyroll confirmed a subscription price increase and plans to offer games alongside its anime catalog, a similar option provided by Netflix's 2021. So let's get a little let's dig a little bit into that. Here's my theory. All right. So first of all, 15,000 people in 15 countries ain't a very big demographic. All right, it's not. It's what, 1,000 people per country? That's nothing. Okay, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. But Netflix's own, analytics show again over 40% of people watch anime on its platform. Here's the thing. Let's see if I can find these numbers real quick. How many subscribers does Netflix have? Let's see if we can bring up a number maybe. So by the end of 2025, Netflix has surpassed 325 million paid subscribers. Okay. Now let's see how many. Let's see if we can see how many Crunchyroll if they release those numbers. Crunchyroll has surpassed, as of 2025, Crunchyroll has surpassed 17 million paid subscribers. But it has a community of over 120 million registered users. So, guys, that's a big, big demographic discrepancy right there. All right. We're talking over 300 million subscribers to 17 million. So, of course, you're going to have more people watching anime on Netflix on the subscriber count alone. The difference is people on Crunchyroll are only consuming anime, right? The people who are buying Netflix aren't buying Netflix for anime. They're the casuals. They're the people who already have Netflix. So why would I buy Crunchyroll? I already have Netflix. That is what a lot of the thing is, right? It's like, why I have Amazon Prime. Why would I watch this on anything else? Absolutely. If it's already bundled in with your service, you're going to watch it on that service. But comparing something that has over 300 million subscribers to something that has 17 million subscribers, obviously, obviously, Netflix is going to overtake Crunchyroll as the most watched. That just, I don't even know. It's a nothing burger. It's common sense. But everyone's making a big deal out of it. Oh my God, Crunchyroll's going to go under. No, they're not. Crunchyroll owns so many licenses because they're owned, now they're owned by Sony. They own so many licenses for so many of these IPs. And here's the best part. Sony owns those IPs that Netflix is using. A lot of those, JJK, all these, they are licensed under Sony. They are licensed by Toho. They are licensed by all these other companies. But Netflix is still paying people to get those things. I know they have their exclusive stuff that they paid for, they front the bills for. Absolutely, they have exclusive stuff. Crunchyroll is exclusive stuff too that only is on Crunchyroll. So I don't really think it's as big of a deal as people are saying it is because they're like, oh my God, Netflix is going to buy Crunchyroll. No, they're not. Sony's not going to sell Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is very popular. The unfortunate thing is, yes, Funimation. That hurts my heart still. Been bringing up Funimation. Um, my take is when Sony bought out Funimation, they should have rebranded Crunchyroll to Funimation and let Funimation be the one that continued on. Funimation had a better user interface. It had better functionality. It had better list management. It had a better storefront with Funimation and Right Stuff. We had a much better storefront. We had all that stuff, and it was already there. It was already done, and it all worked. Crunchyroll is very archaic still. You can't remove things from your watch history. You have to clear out your entire watch history. They still have some very iffy things with the subs and the dubs. I know Attack on Titan is one of those where if you're watching Attack on Titan dubbed, um, season one, you'll get to episode 13, and if you're auto playing it, it'll go to episode 13.5, which is only Japanese. And it will switch over to that, and then it won't switch back. So it will stop at 13.5. And it does that every time because I rewatch AOT. I put AOT on or My Hero while I'm sleeping. Like it's something I fall asleep to. And every time I'm watching AOT, I either have to go through and then stop and skip over to episode 13.5, but it does it. Funimation would just switch. If it was only available in Japanese, it would just go. So I do think Crunchyroll should have just, even if they rebranded Funimation as Crunchyroll, they should have kept the Funimation app, you know. But I don't. That's just my thing. Um, but I think calling that a flex that Netflix is outdoing Crunchyroll with anime. I mean, dude, do you know how many normies I know now that are like, oh my god, you like anime? I watched this anime on Netflix. And it's like, cool, cool. Is that your first one? You know, and it is good because again, Netflix is opening up the audience, right? Not every person is going to subscribe to Crunchyroll unless they're invested in anime, right? I still do it. I still do Crunchyroll every year. I don't care. I want to support the studios, and the best way to do it is either buying physical or getting a subscription. Physical is too damn expensive for anime. It really is. I just can't build up a physical anime collection like I used to. I have all old DVDs and stuff like that, but physical is very hard to keep up with anime. So I buy Crunchyroll, and with the amount of anime that I consume all the time, I get my money's worth. It's $90 a year. You know, yes, yeah, they have a lot of stuff, but even Crunchyroll does that though. Even Crunchyroll censors a lot of the anime. The only streaming service I know that doesn't censor the anime is High Dive, and they are a very niche anime streaming service. They do mostly Sentai Filmworks stuff because I believe Sentai owns them, and they'll have a lot of the stuff uncensored because they'll put the Blu-ray release stuff on streaming, whereas Crunchyroll just does the broadcast stuff, so it has the censorship. I had to go on sail the high seas and with Captain Jack and watch a couple of series on Crunchyroll I was interested in because they were just all censored and it was just it made my head hurt with how much censor stuff there was. One I really liked was Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. I loved that show, but watching it on Crunchyroll was like, oh god, with all the lens flares and the little bats going over everything or things like that, and just the covering and the scene just cutting out all of a sudden and just all that. I had to go look it up elsewhere and watch it uncensored. And I wasn't watching it to watch the nudity, but it it's part of the scene, right? You're in a haunted hot spring, like that's kind of part of the sequence, right? And it's just Crunchyroll's version was just lens, and you felt like you were going blind watching. You're like, oh, there must have been a boob there. Oh my god, like it drove me nuts. And I loved the show. I think I loved it. I laughed my ass off watching it, but I had to go elsewhere to watch it. So there are some shows like that, but I like that Crunchyroll starting to add a lot of the older series that they've acquired. We're getting X, we're getting, Bubblegum Crisis, we're getting Magic Knight Rare. It's like we're getting all these older shows that I love and I adore. So they are trying to expand the vault, so to speak. So, but comparing Crunchyroll to Netflix is it's comparing a pebble to a freaking a mountain. You know, there's such a difference there. So all these bait articles going, Netflix is taking over Crunchyroll. Oh my god, it's stupid. Anyone with common sense, it's a fraction of the subscriber base to Netflix. Of course, there's going to be more people on Netflix. It's freaking Netflix. They're the biggest streamer in the world. They're the most profitable streaming service in the world. Of course, now they're gobbling up anime licenses too. Of course, people are watching it. I'm going to watch it on Netflix. It's part of my Netflix subscription. Of course, I'm going to check it out. And then with all the popularity going, you know, people are gonna go, oh, this is on my recommended list. Oh, I liked Squid Game. Well, maybe I'll like this anime. That's how Netflix is getting it. I have normie friends that don't watch anime that are like, bro, I watched this show yesterday, man. I watched this show. I want man on Netflix, and I'm just like, you never watch anime. Like you always made fun of me for watching it. Like, wait, nah, man, this is really good though. You don't understand. I'm like, but it opens the floodgates. So I just don't think I don't think, like I said, Crunchyroll ain't going anywhere. It's still the dedicated anime source. I know people hate it. I still say we need it. We need the service because I think as much negative as it has, it still is good with like the simulcast and all that stuff. And if you want to watch your subbed anime the day it comes out in Japan, they have that. So, I know people can go and bootleg, they can pirate it, they can do all that stuff. They do. I don't like pirating. I know I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but I started to look at the negative impact that pirating does have on the industry. I mean, I will pirate a lot of Western media. I'm not gonna lie. All the Disney Plus slop that comes out, I will watch that on the high seas. A lot of that stuff because I will watch it for 10 minutes, suffer a brain aneurysm for how horrible it is, and then turn it off. So, I will admit that I do that. I'm guilty of that. I'll watch the Disney Plus slop on bootleg sites. But anime is one of those things, man. I've been supporting it my whole life, and if I got to pay Crunchyroll $8 a month to support anime and buy figures to support anime, that's how I'm gonna do it. But but yeah, I don't know. I just think that comparing Netflix to Crunchyroll is an asinine comparison, and but it's what I wanted to talk about because it was a positive but kind of a negative because it was kind of a stupid thing for people to talk about. I don't know why. Like I said, a service that has 325 million subscribers to a thing that has 17 million paid subscribers. Dude, that's apples and oranges. Like you just can't really compare it. But let's um let's finish things off. TMS Entertainment. Who is Are you talking about the old school place like Tokyo Manga? Is that what it is? Oh no, TMS. Why do I not know? Oh, okay, it's the one that Sega owns. Okay, yes, I do know. Yeah, they do Lupin, right? Because they were owned by, oh my god, who were they owned by first? Oh my god. Started with an S. Wasn't Sunrise. Who the hell owned them first? It wasn't Sunrise. It wasn't Sunrise. It was started with an S. Sammy. Wasn't it Sammy? That was the studio, the company was called Sammy? There was Sammy and there was Sunrise. One of them owned them first because they're the ones that do Lupin, and Sega bought them all, right? I think that's it. Let me let me hold on. Let me go double check. TMS Entertainment, Japanese animation studio, formerly Tokyo Movie Shinsa, headquartered in Tokyo, current subsidiary of Sega. Okay, yep. And they've been around since the 60s. One of the oldest studios. Yep, Detective Conan and Lupin the Third. Okay, yes. And they also did Batman the Animated Series and DuckTales, which is pretty amazing. Yes. Okay. All right. I just wanted to double check and make sure because I'm like, it was Sammy or it was Sunrise or it was something, and I'm like, I know, I remember that. Yeah, they have a lot. They've been around for a long time, but yeah, Sega owns them, so they're not going anywhere. Sega's been doing really good with acquiring very good properties and studios right now. They are being very smart. I mean, they own Yakuza, they own Persona, they own Atlas. I mean, they're doing pretty good, what they're doing. But let's do a let's do one more quick thing. Bring up one more quick game rant article for a game that I freaking adored. Again, I say it's probably my favorite game this generation. It's probably my most favorite game of possibly the past decade or more. And I'm talking about Claire Obscure Expedition 33. So, you don't know, the game's a year old now, guys. And to celebrate, gonna have to probably reinstall it and go back to it. We've got Expedition 33 celebrates its first anniversary with a free update. As you can see here in the pictures, it looks like we got some new costumes, maybe. So, it's been a year since Sandfall Interactive launched Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Such a good game! I loved it. And to celebrate the game's first anniversary, the developer is releasing a special update with new cosmetics. Even for a debut game by a new studio, it's unlikely that anyone could have predicted just how much success Claire Obscure Expedition 33 would go on to achieve. The game's popularity would not only help it break sales records, but lead the studio to many end of the year industry awards as well. Although fans didn't get the major DLC that most wanted, Sandfall has continued to release new updates in the months following after launch. In fact, after reaching 5 million in sales, the studio released a free update which added a new location called Verso's Drafts. The new area is intended for endgame players, featuring plenty of secrets, brand new enemies to battle, and cosmetics to unlock. That was a lot of fun. We streamed it. I loved it. Shout out to Sandfall Entertainment for putting your customers and your fans first. I love them. They are great. I will buy anything they put out from now on. Seems Sandfall had another idea in mind as the game's first anniversary rolls around. With the original launch date of Claire Obscure being April 24th, Sandfall had a little surprise to share with fans. A new update arrived for the game, and it includes a new set of cosmetics for the main cast, specifically first anniversary haircuts. Interested players can grab Gustav's anniversary haircut in the Gestural Merchant near the Stone Wave Cliffs. For the rest of the case, Verso, Mael, Lune, they spelled that wrong, it's not Lean, it's Lune, CL, and Monaco. Players will instead need to head to the Gestural Merchant near the Gross Tate location on the world map to pick up the new hairstyles. So it's also going to have some bug fixes and adjustments for the game, but overall a small update. So it's something. It's nothing crazy, but it's something, and it's something to celebrate, right? The year anniversary. It's just new hairstyles. I thought maybe we're getting new outfits too, but hey, we might as well close the stream out on some good news, free stuff. Who doesn't love free stuff for a game that was already absolutely incredible? I know I do, and I want to go back in just to get the new hairstyles. So. Claire Obscura come back. You know what? I need a follow up. I do. I want I want to know more about the painters. We're a year down the line now, so I can talk about the game a little more freely now, but I want to know more about painters. I meant the painters, the writers. I want to know about the painters too, but I want to know about the writers, right? Because the way it paints this story, no pun intended, is that it's almost like Assassin's Creed with the assassins and the Templars, right? Like we've got the writers and we've got the painters, and they can do things. My wonder is, does the writers have the same ability as the painters? Like, can they write these stories or these worlds and have them come to life? I want to know more, because we've seen through the story that one of the characters has been tangling with the writers. So I want to know more. I want to know more. It doesn't have to be an expedition story, but give us something in that world. Just like we did with Assassin's Creed, we had these stories in the real world, and it was like with Abstergo and the Templars and the Assassins. I want to see more of that. And we can dive into more new worlds based off of different locations. And it would, oh God, I'm so excited with the possibilities for what they've started. And I really want to see what they come up with next. So, but that is it for today. And you know what? We went longer than I expected. But before I end things, I'm going to give you guys a rundown of all the figures that I highlighted, obviously, this week, starting with My Hero Monday, our girl Ochako in her Papa Parade uniform version from Good Smile Company. I absolutely love this one, guys. Highly, highly recommend it. Any costume variations of any character is a must. I love it. I think they did a great job with it. Get your hands on one if you're an Ochako fan. Twin Tuesday, really weird one. Can't really recommend it. Can't say I hate it. It's the Mecha Rem, which is, I believe, called the Bioid or Bijoid Rem. And the base is horrible. It's way too big. The figure is really small. But damn it, if it isn't just a cool looking figure. It's really, really cool looking and it's unique. But it has two of my biggest negatives, which it's freaking small and its base is atrocious. So buy at your own risk. Waifu Wednesday. One I cannot stress enough is freaking awesome. If you're a Freerin fan, get this Sega Luminasta made Freerin. And if you love her, get the fern that goes with her. They are awesome. I did a prize figure face off with both these ladies, and I was blown away at how nice they both looked. Figure Friday. JJK series that I'm not a fan of. The Ben Presto Static series. But I did like Panda because it's Panda, and how can you screw up a Panda? And I do have the Toto from this set as well. The other ones are very small, rinky dink. Do not recommend spending the money on them. But if you need another Panda for your collection, sure. If you need a Toto for your collection, he's cool and he's on the cheap. So it can be do or don't with this one. But it all depends on how much you love Panda. Close out the week with a rare one. Sword Art Online, our girl Lisbeth, who gets no love and no figures really, other than this Gun Gale from Alicization, which is weird because Alicization, again, did not go into the gun world. But our only other Liz figure I think we have, again, as I showed earlier in the stream, is this bikini prize figure from the Espresso series. And this one always gets throttled on YouTube and flagged as adult content when it's on TikTok. So I don't really show her off very much. But it's a shame that we don't get more figures of her. I think she's a very underrated character and one that doesn't get enough representation. I want a Blacksmith Liz figure, and I want it today. But that was it for all the figures. We talked about some great topics. We had some great discussions here today. And yeah, I this was a good one. I'm a day late, but we're all right. You have all the mangas? The manga, man, I would love to have the Sword Art mangas. That's one. Sword Art manga is one of the ones I want added to my collection now that I do collect manga more. What I did was I was a big comic book collector and I was an anime figure guy, and I stopped buying comic books because modern comic books suck ass. They're horrible, they're garbage, and they're overpriced. And they're full of a bunch of people who hate their audience. So I don't support it anymore. Um, So I started buying manga, just slowly but surely, a little bit at a time. And I've got two shelves of manga now. So there are some sets I really want to go back and get. I want to get the original X 1999 series, which is very expensive and never finished. One of my favorite series of all time. But the manga never finished. The anime did. Another set I want to get is the ReZero set, which is still ongoing, but I want to get that, and that's an expensive one as well. And I'm waiting for the next My Hero box set because I have the first box set, so I want to have them both together. But but yeah, I've been slowly but surely building my manga collection because I would rather support books that actually put out good products and appreciate their fans, you know. So Anime Expo in LA, I always wanted to do Comic Con out in California there, but I never went out. I never managed to get out to San Diego for Comic Con, and now I would never want to go out there because it's just a disaster. I even stopped going to New York Comic Con because it's just a disaster, anyways. Um, Anime New York, I stopped going to too because it's gotten too expensive and too big, and all the merch is too overpriced. So I just stopped going. Um, it's one I definitely want to check out. I think the con I want to travel for, which will probably be next year. I didn't do it this year. Is going to be MegaCon in Orlando. I think I really want to go to that one. I hear a lot of good things, and I want to do a Dragon Con. I want to do at least one Dragon Con. I still have not done Dragon Con yet. So, but for right now, I stick to the Northeast conventions. I know I have this year. I skipped Anime Boston because it's gotten to be trash. I'm doing Granite State Comic Con in New Hampshire. I'm doing Kineticon in Connecticut. Obviously, really good anime show. Doing Rhode Island Anime in Rhode Island. I'm doing Rhode Island Comic Con in November. Might be doing Fan Expo Boston. I'm not sure. That show's kind of iffy, but yeah, we it gets a little iffy with cons now. I love going to cons, but they're starting to get way overpriced, and the merch is overpriced. So it's like if I'm overpaying to go to the show and I'm overpaying for merch, what's the point? But I also go and I have a blast. So I love, I mean, that's why I do this. I love talking nerd stuff with people. So I'll go to a convention and I'll spend most of my convention shooting the breeze at people. So the next thing is we're gonna get a mic, and we've got a selfie stick kind of thing set up already, so we can actually do conversation with people and record things for the channel, go live from the conventions, things like that. So we got some more stuff kind of in the works as well. But you got an autograph from Akira Toriyama, really? That's actually pretty awesome. That's pretty cool because because he passed, right? Not last year, was it? Was it last year that he passed away, or was it the year before that? I know he passed. He passed within the last couple of years, I believe, right? That's like me. I have Stan Lee's autograph. I met him a couple years before he passed away. I got to go to a meet and greet with him. I got to go to a panel with him, and I was so happy I did it when I did because unfortunately he passed a few years later. So, you know, you never know. I mean, my daughter, I because she's got her new room set up right now. We have tons of autographs I have to hang up on the walls right now. I'll actually show a couple. Let me grab them real quick. We got a couple autographs. She's an autograph collector. All autographs? Holy crap. Yeah, my daughter is becoming quite the autograph hunter. So these are all a bunch of autographs that we've gotten at conventions. I'm gonna make space so I can put them down. But she has chased she my thing with my daughter is I let her go to the conventions and get at least one autograph per show, right? So we have Lindsay Sadel's autograph here on a really cool metallic Nigiri um, kind of metal print. This is obviously you can see it's metal. So this is one of her first autographs she got. So these are all the kiddos autographs. So she got that. That was really really cool. Um, I won't go through all of them, but of course we tried to track this girl down at three different conventions, and we missed her every time because Gigi is a big Spy Family fan, and we finally got her autograph. So we've got Anya's autograph as well. So she even drew a little peanut on it. Very, very cool. Again, I gotta get a frame for that one still. She got the pink Power Ranger, obviously, Amy Jo Johnson. She got her autograph as well. So, showing off some of the kiddos' autographs. This one we're actually bringing to the next show because she got Aravity's signature and now she needs to get Froppy's on this. So, yeah, she is literally collecting signatures and meet and greets. This is we met Power and Makima's voice actresses. So, she got Power and I actually got Makima's signature. So I was psyched about that. Here's another one. She's actually going to be meeting Aizawa's voice actor. So she was in cosplay as Eerie and got Eerie's autograph, and now we're going to be taking it to get Aizawa to sign this as well. This is a really adorable art print, and obviously this one's framed. So I haven't gotten all of them framed yet, but they're all going up on her wall. This is her Amelie shadow box. Of course, Monarch. She's a VTuber. This is her autographed print, autographed CD, all that stuff. Shout out to Amelie. She is goaded. She's so awesome. Speaking of which, one that I got from Mama Amelie, of course, my prize thing next to my Stan Lee autograph is probably my autographed Maureen print. And of course, the kiddo had to get her name put on it too because she loves My Dress Up Darling. This is one of mine. This is mine, right? Right. It says Tony and Gigi, right? So this is one of my. This is going on my wall, right? But yeah, the kid collects autographs like freaking nothing, and I always try to let her meet at least one of her favorite voice actors all the time. Um, I always let her do that. I think it's fun. It's something I wish I did when I was younger. I wish I got to go to all these shows and I got to meet all these people that I loved. So it's a cool experience for her, and the reactions that she gets sometimes is really really fun. Like when she was little, she was like 9, I think, and she met Amelie when she was 9, and she ran around, she gave her a hug. She remembered her from the stream when she was doing an autograph session. So like it was really cool. It's cool, and now it's funny because all of her friends are getting into anime as well, and so now they all want to come with us, and they all want to meet these voice actors too. So it is really cool. It's cool to meet the characters, and I don't personally do it much myself, but I let her do it. you know. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to meet a lot of the voice actors and the way they interact with people, and you get a good vibe for them by seeing how they interact with people. So um, I know this weekend on Saturday we're going to be going to Enfield, Connecticut for a free comic book day. One of my favorite comic shops, Most Excellent Comics Collectibles. They are doing an event, and they're going to have whose voice actors are going to be there? Gito's voice actor from JJK and Chibi Moon's voice actress from Sailor Moon is going to be there. So somebody that I'm going to meet and somebody that the kiddo's going to want to meet. So we're going to be going there. We're going to be having some fun. So very excited about that. Obviously, free comic book days this weekend. So make sure you go out, you support your local shops, your local card shops, comic shops, anime shops, whatever they are. Make sure you guys go out and support them because it is important. We need our local businesses, our local shops, collectible stuff. We need them to keep going. So support those guys as well. And that is going to be it for today. I went a whole 38 minutes above my threshold, but I did have to make up for not streaming the stream yesterday. So we got a little bit of extra meat on the bone today. But um, I am going to try to do another stream. What do we got for time right now? 1:30. I'm gonna try to do another stream at around 3 p.m. So at about an hour and a half. I'm gonna try to jump on for 2 hours to do a gaming stream since today was supposed to be a gaming stream. So I'm gonna make the post a little bit later if I'm gonna get around to it. But a new gotcha game just dropped today. NTE, Never is to end in this. I always stumble my words when I say the name. Um, Neverness to Everness. There we go. I got it right. That dropped today, and I might just kind of dip into it on stream today. So I will let everyone know if there's going to be a second stream today. I kind of want to because you guys know I love my gotcha games. I don't pay for them, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, I did show some of her artwork on stream the other day, right during the Pragmata streams. So yeah, we're gonna try to time some stuff out and do some co-op streams, but that's gonna be it for now for today for this. So make sure to stop in. I will not have today's scheduled video done today. That's probably going to go live tomorrow. If I can get it edited in the next hour and a half, it will go live today. But I do have another little haul video. Friday, we will have another episode of Prize Figure Face Off. Tomorrow, we will be back to streaming Pragmata. Unless people want me to do Tomodachi Life, it was kind of 50-50. Friday, Pragmata or Tomodachi Life, and then obviously no stream Saturday or Sunday. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a live stream from the shop for Free Comic Book Day. Do a little live stream from there. Show you guys a little bit of the what's going on over there, but we will see. And that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who came in and chatted. Yeah, we are going to actually, I mentioned that earlier in the stream, next week on Tuesday. Um, it is, we are going to, what is the studio? Rebel Wolves is going to be doing a live stream while we're doing this stream next Tuesday. About an hour into the stream next Tuesday, we're going to switch over to YouTube and we're going to try to react to the Rebel Wolves live stream for Blood of the Dawnwalker. We're going to see if we can do it without getting copyright hits. If I get a copyright, we're going to stop viewing it, obviously, but we're going to try to do that next week on the Caffeinated Collector stream. So make sure to stop in for that. We're going to do some reaction. We're going to talk about the game if we can. And fingers crossed that since it's a small studio, we don't get a hit for it. But we'll find out. And again, that's going to be it. Same business as usual, guys. Thank you all for coming in and chatting. Shout out, Loudboy. Appreciate you coming in, man. Always good to see you. Ant, I know you're probably at work. You're probably busy right now, but you were in the chat earlier chatting with us. Shout out to you as well, man. Thanks for reminding me that I was late. And again, thanks to everyone for watching these VODs afterwards. I appreciate the support. Make sure to check out the gaming streams on YouTube and Twitch. If I don't forget to go live on Twitch like I did the other day. And Caffeinated Collector is also going to be on Spotify as well. So I'm kind of everywhere now. I'm trying to get it out there. So make sure you guys click the like button, subscribe button, the share button, spread the nerdiest. Follow on all the socials, guys. They're down here below. All the support. I appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to be getting some more content out throughout the week. Thanks to everyone for coming in and chatting, man. We had some good ass topics today. And yeah, hopefully we've got some more good topics to talk about next week. Maybe more good news than bad news. So I'll see you all later for the gaming stream, tomorrow for the gaming streams, or next week for the next episode of Caffeinated Collector. Until then, bye everyone.